Hi folks, how you doing? I've got a bit of a rarity for you today. It's a Didaktik Model M and it's a computer from Slovakia from 1990 to 1991 or 1992. I can't find an exact end production date, but they started production in about 1990 anyway. And as you can see, it's quite clearly a Sinclair Spectrum clone from looking at the keyboard. So mine's got a few signs of wear and tear on it. It's a painted case and you can see where it started rubbing off in places. And the lettering's looking a bit thin in places too. But then, it's 30 odd years old, so what do you want? Let's have a little tour anyway. So yeah, clearly a Spectrum clone. Just looking at the keyboard, and you can really see the wear and tear on the keys too. And I've got to say, it's probably got the worst keyboard I've ever come across on a Spectrum or Spectrum clone. Honestly, the rubber keyed Spectrum is so much better than this. Some of the keys work fine. That one's okay. Some of them, like this one, they don't, and they tend to stick down. You've got to give them a bit of a tap to get the key to pop back up again. It's a nice looking machine, I think, but yeah, I mean the quality of these keys is appalling, and the quality of the printing is really quite bad as well. If I can get that to focus. Yeah, you'll see it's not exactly been printed straight, and they're not very durable either. It does have its own dedicated reset button, which seems to do kind of nothing other than turn the power light off, so that might be something that needs attention. These keys, I can only assume when the computer was new that these keys were a lot better, because you really couldn't sell a computer with a keyboard like this new. It's so bad. What have we got around the back? There's nothing on the sides, there's nothing on the front, but around the back we've got TV out, which is the RF, video, which is composite colour, power socket, MG, that is for the cassette. We've got system bus, which is the expansion port you would normally find on a Spectrum. And then, weirdly, we've got two joystick ports. Very non-standard connections. And we've got Kempston and Sinclair as well. I've even got a pile of documentation that came with the machine as well. So, I've got the original receipt. So it was 2,990 in, I'm sorry, I don't know what the currency would have been. And it's got a sale date of the 22nd of the 12th, and that is completely illegible. So sometime in December of some year. Got a welcome letter. So I have translated that, so I'll put that on the screen for you now. I've got this, which is the warranty card. Now, let me I did translate this, just let me get the translation up. Didaktik personal computer, voltage 220 volts at 50 hertz, serial number. So we've got a shipped date. So, 5th of the 4th, 1991. Warranty conditions, blah blah blah. Right. So on the back, actually, we've got our sale date. So it was the 22nd of December 1991, so that's when the computer was sold. And we've had a warranty repair on the 13th of April 1993. It also, interestingly, comes with a schematic Never seen a computer that's done that before. Really interesting. That looks like some sort of advertisement for peripherals, interfaces, what have you. And we've got the software list. So I didn't translate this, but some of it's kind of obvious. So you've got Reversi, Jetpack, Backgammon, that sort of thing. So we've got hardware as well. So we've got the interfaces, monitors, yeah, all that sort of thing. Cassette recorder. All the things that you could want to add to your system, really. So I have got the original power supply as well, which interestingly has had a power line switch sort of wired into it roughly and held together with electrical tape, but this thing's got cracks and splits in it as well. And while I'm sure it's very safe electrical tape, I think what I'm going to do at some point in the future is change the line cord altogether, and also dig into this power supply as well, just to make sure it's not going to burn my house down. It seems to work for now, and I've checked the voltages and they all seem to be fine. Incidentally, it runs on 5 volts DC regulated and 20 volts AC unregulated. So yeah, it has 2 voltages on this DIN plug. It also came with a quick shot joystick. I don't know if that would have been sold with the machine at the time or not. Probably not. But it does have this funky connector on it. So that's like a really non-standard connector that I think is specific just to this machine. Anyway, so let's hook it up. I'll put it through its paces and let's see what it's like to actually use. So let's give the dodgy power switch a click. And power light comes on. And yeah. So we've booted into Didaktik and Basic, copyright 1990. I'm not sure how relevant the copyright is, assuming it's a Spectrum rip-off. Maybe they paid royalties? I doubt it. I don't know. So yeah, from this point forward, it operates exactly like a Spectrum. I believe this is clocked at 4 MHz, whereas the Spectrum's only 3.5, so anything you would run on it would run slightly faster. But yeah, press a button, and yes, everything's familiar. Well, familiar if you're a Spectrum owner anyway. Keyboard is terrible to type on. You've really got to hit the keys, and some of them work quite well. Some of them really grind, and you've really got to hammer them down to get them to respond. So that's something I'll look at, but not in this video, I don't think. I just want to give an overview. Right, what else have we got? Reset button doesn't seem to do anything other than switch the power light out. But if I hold it down, and you can clearly see it's doing absolutely nothing to the computer whatsoever. So it could be a faulty switch. It could be doing something I'm not aware of. I don't know. Could just be an interrupt switch. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Let's run some games. Because coincidentally, it has exactly the same pinout for the cassette adapter as my... I've got another Soviet Spectrum clone. It's called an Oral. And I've already made a cassette lead up for that, and it just happens to have the same pinouts. So let's hook up a tape deck and let's play some games. Yeah. So I've got my joystick hooked up to the Kempston port. I've got my tape port hooked up to my rather lovely ANF03 Acorn tape recorder. So let's give it a go. And let's see what we can play. I've got a selection of games. Really got to bang these keys to get a response. Wow. Alright, let's have some controls. So 3, we'll go for Kempston. I'm not even going to attempt the keyboard. And run. Oh, I'm going to load the level. Okay, the joystick seems to be responding quite well. Oh, I forgot how bad this game sounds on a 48K Spectrum. Not that this is a 48K Spectrum, although I suppose it technically kind of is. Ah! Yeah. I mean, it does have a slightly faster CPU, but I can't say I'm noticing it on this game. It seems to play as it should. My playing could be better, but then I am playing around a camera, so please forgive me. Okay, let's try something else. Of course, you've got to play Discs of Death, haven't you? Let's give it a go. Joystick works beautifully. And yeah, I would say this is running... It feels a little bit quicker. I am familiar with this game, so yeah, maybe... Alright, Renegade 3. Seems to work. Again, let's have Kempston. Oh, and load the level. Okay, what have we got? Sounding good. Whoa. I mean, seems to run fine. What the hell am I doing? What a weird game. Yeah, so there you go. There's a look at the Didaktik, a very Spectrum compatible computer. It seemed to run everything I threw at it anyway. Do you know, if it wasn't for this keyboard, I'd be really, really impressed with it. But I'm going to come back to this computer, I'll put another video together, and I'll see if I can improve this keyboard a little bit. Maybe there's something I can do about it. Or maybe that's just the way it is. I don't know. But I'll investigate, and I'll find out anyway. But yeah, I'm really impressed with it. I mean, it ran everything I threw at it. It had no problems with any of these. I tried a few more games off camera as well, and it was yeah, it ran all the Imagine stuff, not a problem at all. It's no yeah, I mean, it ran that. Discs of Death, obviously not a problem at all. Or Didums, which is a better game than I think it gets credit for, but anyway, yeah, so there you go. There's a look at the Didaktik. So all I will say is, as always, thank you very much for watching. It's always appreciated, and hopefully I'll see you again for the next one. Bye.